Hello, welcome. My name is Alyssa. This is my channel of New Direction, and this is a new moon reading for the new moon in Scorpio, which is happening November 16th. So I believe that's Sunday. Okay. And new moons are all about the energy of new beginnings. The new moons happen within every sun sign every month. So within each zodiac sign, every one of their zodiac signs, there's a new moon. And that is really that energy shift of a new beginning. And that's what we're looking at, okay? November is kind of like November and December, I just feel are these big, massive, kind of last 2 month endings to what 2020 has been. And it's been such a big year. This new moon that is coming on Sunday, it is the third of a trio of eclipse new moons. And then there is, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Don't hold that to me. They might not be eclipse, but there is a trio of new moons that had just happened, and this is number 3. And then I believe the one in December is maybe the eclipse. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I'm not an astrologer, guys. I just find it very interesting. All right, so we're going to start with the energy oracles, and we're just going to kind of be pulling, we're going to pull from the ancestors, the angels and the ancestors, the energy, and then the spirit animals. And we're just looking at the energies, okay? The energy of what this new moon, this new beginning can be bringing in here. So we get from the angels and the ancestors, we got the Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action, and the Durud, hold the space. Oh, I love these. Be graceful in movement and action and hold the space. What beautiful energies to have. This is all about having the faith that just what needs to happen is going to happen. That you don't need to be rash. You don't need to be, this big, loud person making all these new beginning statements. You just need to allow yourself to gracefully kind of move through that energy, and hold the space for the new beginning. Hold the space for the change that you want to happen with inside self. Wow, those are really beautiful energies. Huh. And the energy of walking away. And this is a really beautiful energy too, because it is the energy of what, this new moon, it's the beginning phase. In order to start a beginning, you have to walk away from something. And it's a collective reading, so put it where it fits, right? But there are certain aspects in our lives that we oftentimes, throughout the course of journeys, we do have to walk away. You have to be brave, and then you have to acknowledge that, okay, what that was isn't going to serve me anymore, and then you have to move yourself forward and continue to walk away. And this is very much this energy, okay? See here? See this illuminated little butterfly up here? It's calling for transformation. As she walks through these gates here, she's being called to transform. She's being called to kind of like chase the morning sun, chase the light that's before her, walk away from maybe the things, the ideas, whatever it has been that has been holding her back. She's being called to walk towards the light. And be generous of spirit, the lion spirit. Wow. What powerful, honestly, powerful oracle messages here, right? As far as energy of this new moon. This is very much where we align ourselves. We begin to make the movements and the actions, and allow give the space for what we want to come in. We're not fighting. We're not being reckless. We're just allowing for it to happen. And it's kind of funny though, because this guy, he is defensive, right? He is in this energy of defensiveness. But I think he's just, it's not even necessarily like he's defensive. He is just so controlled, He knows exactly what he is doing. He knows exactly what movements and actions he is making here. Wow, those are really cool energies to have for this new moon. And be generous of spirit. You know, it's so important that, we that we don't go around and hold others to unrealistic expectations of, what we expect for them. That we don't hold people to something that we wouldn't hold ourselves to. And even if we would hold ourselves to that, that's fine. That's what you hold yourself to, not to others, right? This is the energy of really being gracious, being understanding, being forgiving. Be generous of spirit. Wow. Be generous of your good energy. And I mean, be careful of who you give energy to. We always do need to be careful of that for sure. But be generous of spirit. Be generous of how you allow your authenticity to show up. Don't shy away from that. Roar who you are. Okay? All right. Wow, those are really cool energies. Okay, so we're going to use the light seers. And we're going to look at really what we want to begin, what is standing in our way, and what actions what actions we need to do if that's what we want to begin. All right, Spirit. Begin here with this new moon. What is it, Spirit, that the collective is wanting to begin with this new moon? We got the Hermit, the Six of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Look at that. This Hermit energy is really such a beautiful energy because it's all about, it's about the removing yourself from the noise, finding that inner light, finding that inner peace, walking your path, your own soul path here, your own soul-led journey to your peak, to your place, so that you can find the light within inside you. That's a beautiful energy. The Six of Cups was after that, and it's like this almost, I really feel like it's like what we're looking to really begin here is where, the reflection has been done. The light has been found within self. The Six of Cups, and maybe not all of us, maybe some of us are still within this really deep understanding of the reflection needed between these two. What this kind of peaceful, quiet energy even looks like. The Six of Cups, it's a beautiful energy. It's an energy of reflecting, over all of those things that have emotionally fulfilled us over time. It's going back and connecting to like our deep-rooted emotions here. For some of you, this is a very beautiful energy because for some of you, this is kind of, the Six of Cups has a very twin flame kind of love to it. And for some, this is kind of the energy of really understanding. You're doing that kind of self-reflection and this, it's almost like this isn't going to fit for all of you, but definitely take this. If you do find that this fits, that's great. But for some of you, maybe you're in this separation phase. With a twin flame here. And this is really the energy here of what begins as you finding your own light and you finding what brings you peace, what brings you happiness, what brings you fulfillment. It's about finding that joy of self-wholeness. What begins here. And I love that because the Mars reading, as Mars goes direct, if you haven't watched that one yet, I do encourage you to go back and check that out. But it was very much about that kind of same energy. It was the understanding of self-acknowledgement and self-healing and self-empowerment to go forward. Okay, that was really the energy that came along with that Mars going direct. And that only happens on the 13th. So 3 days later is this new moon, right? And that's kind of, again, it just all kind of seems to be playing together right now because this new moon is, again, this phase of new beginning, of new self, of finding new self, finding new purpose, right? And the Hermit gets the Hanged Man. And see, and this is really this Hermit energy. I kind of feel like it's almost where you have you're changing the way that you're doing this reflection. Maybe you're changing the way you're holding yourself accountable. Maybe you're not even, maybe it's the change in how you're holding yourself accountable, where before you would have maybe beat yourself up, and now there's kind of this grace and this understanding, and this free kind of feeling that, like, okay, well, if it's not working, it's because I'm being asked to wait. Spirit's asking me to wait. And that's this hanged man energy. It's about being in this place of patience, being in this energy of understanding that the process just needs to happen the way it does, that the light is shining from within inside you. So it's attracting the things to you that are for you, but it takes time. It takes being true to that self-love. It takes being true to that inner light. Okay? It's a change here, though. There's definitely a change in how you've done this reflection. And as I was saying, it can just be a change in how you hold yourself accountable to the peace within inside your soul. Maybe it's how you hold yourself accountable to even making sure that you take the time to do that. Maybe you've allowed yourself to be so busy and so caught up in all the other things. Maybe you were caught up constantly trying to figure out how to make this twin flame soul connection work. And you weren't really taking that deep, deep time out personal to do this, to find the light. And I really do feel like this is that change. This is where that beginning of personal self-reflection is very much needed. Yep, look at that. Six of Cups gets the Judgment. It's even where, and even if this is, for some of you, if this is a twin flame love that you've been stuck and hooked and, and there's some separation, or maybe there's even, it's even some, maybe you're not separated, but it's this codependency of, some sort of relationship like that, where you've been stuck and really unable to move yourself forward here. But this is a reflection energy of that frees you. It's about releasing yourself from maybe the expectations that you've set on yourself, from whatever it was. But here, this is coming forward, and this is releasing yourself. Maybe it's releasing all of these burdens that this man, from the time he was here to the time he gets down here, right? It's releasing all those burdens, all of the things that you have, constantly shamed and blamed and put upon yourself. It's the lessons, it's the hardships. It's the joys and the happiness too, for sure. But this is that deep reflection of self here. And when you do that deep reflection of self, it releases you. It frees you. And twin flame or not, that is what twin flames are about. It is about that twin flame connection will and always will be that connection of pushing to discover self, pushing to really move self into its authenticity. Okay? Page of Wands. Page of Wands gets the Five of Pentacles, because this is the energy of coming past out of the hardships. This new beginning here, what is changing, what you are wanting to change here, is where the Five of Pentacles is a despairing energy. And it's the Pentacles, so it's a 3D energy. It can be low funds. It can be left out in the cold, no place to live. It can be breakdowns. It can be, not feeling loved. Okay? It can just be feeling despairing and even depressed. Okay? But this is that beginning of self. This is where this self-empowerment comes in. It overpowers this loneliness because you do the work. You do the healing, you do the reflection, you release what is burdening you. You release the things that you think are limiting you in life. And you go forward understanding that there's newness, there's authenticity within you that still needs to be shown, that you haven't even touched the surface on yet. Okay? This energy here of really, what we want to begin is this, again, this sense of moving into new self, of being generous with spirit. Doesn't that look beautiful? When you say those are kind of two of the same, generous of spirit, right? She's generous of who she is authentically. She's generous of her authentic energy because she knows that when she shows up authentically to herself, she has plenty of that energy to keep giving because she's not faking it, right? She doesn't need to waste energy faking who she is because she authentically shows up to herself. So then she has extra energy, All right. What is standing in our way? What can be standing in our way here? The Nine of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Well, that's kind of interesting. You know, the Nine of Cups is about emotional self-fulfillment, you know? This is about feeling whole and worthy and loved within self. This is not about anybody else. Nines are about self, okay? I keep feeling like I say that a lot in these readings lately because if you haven't noticed, it's all about self, right? But it is. You know, really, you know, what can be standing in our way is learning to love ourselves, learning to appreciate, learning to be full within ourselves. And I get it. You know, I get it. I've been single so long, guys, like really on and off so long. Single is kind of my jam, you know. But even within being single, there are often times where you feel full within self and yet you still long for that kind of, you know, you still long for another relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There isn't anything wrong with longing for wanting to share a life with somebody. But we have to be very honest about what it is that we are wanting to share. Is it the life or are we needing them to fulfill us? Right? If we're needing somebody to fulfill us, then this is definitely standing in our way. Because 9 comes before 10. 10 is about emotional love for everybody. 9 is about emotional love for self. Okay? If we are needing people in our lives to fill us, we will always be empty. We need spirit and we need self. And we need to be filled. Okay? The Three of Wands was after that. Because again, you know, what can be standing in our way is this direction of new change, of actually making the steps, actually jumping into the water and being the new person that you know you want to be. That can be a really big challenge, and that we can get in our own way from doing that. Because free will changes everything. You can watch readings like this and think, oh wow, everything's going to work out great. That's fine. But if you don't make the steps to actually align yourself to the change that needs to happen, then nothing's ever going to come anyway. It's really just a fun video to watch then. You know, readings like this they're not about, hey, this is going to happen to you next. They're about, hey, open your mind up and maybe think about things this way. Maybe there's a different way you can look at this, right? The Six of Pentacles was the last one in here. And this is about addressing the energies that we put out, and we have to pay attention to this. This is the law of attraction. If you are dumping negativity out in the world, you are going to get negativity back. You have to watch the energy that you put out, and sometimes that is an exhausting thing to do. But if you don't want garbage dumped on your doorstep, don't dump it out into the universe. That goes with energy, guys, 100%. The Nine of Cups gets the Eight of Pentacles, you know, and this can really be where we've done a lot of self-work and self-healing, you know, where we've put in all of this work to kind of heal ourselves, you know, and it can be almost this energy like, you know, as far as like what is standing in our way, it can be this energy of where like, you know, you feel like you're constantly just you're putting all this work in and it's not really changing. Things aren't changing, right? But maybe it's just you need to realize that you're already there. That you're already living in this next changed life. You just need to change your mindset. The work here has been done. So don't sell yourself short. You know, and work for self-love, like work for healing and work for self-love and work for grounding and, you know, to keep our energies stable and balanced and the self-care and stuff. Like, I mean, that's a constant thing. It is. Don't think that it's like, oh, I did self-care once, I'm great for a lifetime. No, life constantly changes. Therefore, you know, our energies are constantly changing. The things that we need to, you know, continue to emotionally feel stable are constantly changing. We constantly have to put the work into growing, into evolving. That is what our souls are here to do. Okay? They really are. Three of Wands gets the Four of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Oh my goodness. You know, because there is so much happiness and there is so much fulfillment for you when you embrace the step that you are being asked to go on. Look at all this happiness. Celebrations, marriages, weddings coming together. This is just goodness. This is karmic goodness coming in. You know, this is good energy just because, you know, the balance is that way because they've put the work in, they've put the time in. This is joy, happiness, because they embrace their authenticity, the Knight of Wands. And this is such an important one here, okay? It is so important to embrace this journey here, to take that leap of faith, to go forward, to begin this new you, to really set yourself up every single day, to align yourself with the higher road, to align yourself with the life, to align yourself with your authenticity. If it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't speak to your heart, it's not for you, okay? This is about truly walking your path, the one that makes you happy, the one that lights your fire, your passion. It's a challenge to do that, absolutely, but do not give up the faith here. Put the work in. Continue to show up. You know, the things that we want most in our lives are oftentimes the things we have to work the hardest for. Whether that be work, whether that be, you know, relationships, or, you know, we have to put the work in. And I'm not saying that, you know, relationships, you know, it's like, oh, that bad toxic relationship you're constantly fighting. No, no, not at all. You have to put the work into relationships, because in order for relationships to grow, both individuals have to keep fucking growing. See how that works? You can't go into a relationship that you want to grow and expand with in life and then just stop growing. Okay? That's not how that works. Life is about growing, guys. Life is about always evolving. Life is about constantly improving yourself. It's about manifesting and creating what it is you want in life. Having the faith that the things that you put the work into, that you set your intentions for, that you pray and you manifest and you co-create with spirit, that those energies, you know, when you put out that positive, you know, this is what I'm here to do, these are the things that I want to bring into my life, that is what you get back. It is. It is. The Empress energy is this divine energy of knowing and understanding and following the intuition, co-creating with spirit and knowing that what is hers is hers. She gives life to all things, this Empress. And you have the ability to too if you watch the energies that you put out. I can't say that enough. It is all about the energies that we continue to pump into the world. You know, we're like smokestacks of energy, right? And we pump out all this energy, kind of like smoke. And is it good smoke or is it pollution? I don't know. You know. All right, what are the actions we must do here with this new beginning? The Wheel, the Seven of Swords. And the Ten of Wands. That's crazy. This Ten of Wands has come out in so many readings lately. Because it is about cycles being done. It is about letting the shit go. And that's what needs to happen here. The Wheel of Fortune, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Because this is where the change happens. This is where you release the shit that is just, maybe it's shit, maybe it's lies, maybe it's cheats, maybe it's just garbage, maybe it's people who have done you wrong, okay? Maybe it's where you've done people wrong. Maybe it's even just that energy of not being fully honest about maybe where you were in life or where other people were in life. But this is that energy where things shift. This is that energy where things change. Okay, cycles are completed. People move on. People heal. People change their lives here. This is the energy that is needed here. Okay? Don't steal the feathers. Don't hide in the shadows here. Come forward from the darkness. Make the changes that need to happen and then go forward here. Oh, that's a lot. We're going to take them anyway. The Six of Wands, the Fool, and the Moon. That's what the Wheel is. Because this change is where this self-liberation, this new beginning, and this faith in the divine happens. This change, this beautiful energy here, it brings the self-liberation and this beginning of a new start for self here. Acknowledging that you are worthy to start again. Acknowledging that you are worthy of this path and whatever it is that you want to begin. You're the Fool here. Take the leap of faith. You can surrender yourself to the moonlight. You can surrender yourself to the divine. Because with even in the shadows, you are still protected. Even when you are, walking through the darkness and you can't see, you're not alone. Know that you are not alone. Know that no matter where you are on this journey here, The energy has shifted. You were never alone to begin with, for sure. But maybe for the first time you're seeing that. Maybe for the first time you're truly feeling that. Maybe for the first time you're truly standing up for yourself and just taking that leap of faith. And that changes it. That shifts the whole game here, my friends. All right, let's get one here for the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords gets the King of Wands and the Eight of Swords. You know, and this is really where you embrace the strength. You know, you walk away from being the victim. You know, maybe people have done you wrong. Maybe there's been a lot of shady business that has happened, right? And it's just been one kind of shady shit after the next. But this is where you embrace your own light. It's where you embrace the, you know, the solidness, the steadiness within inside of self, where you understand that you're not the victim. You've always been the King of Wands. You've always been the lion, right? This energy here of what needs to change, of what actions need to be taken is we have to remove ourselves from the victimhood. We do. We have to be the ones who acknowledge that we're just looking at the mirror here. And that we are no longer that victim in the mirror, but we are the King of Swords, the King of Wands. We are powerful. We are steady. We are solid in our beings. We are authentic to self. Yes, we've known a lot of lessons. Yes, we've come through a lot. Yes, we've put a lot of work into self here. But we continue to show up. We continue to align ourselves to who it is that we authentically want it to be. This is the action that is needed, my friends. Don't give up on who you are. Don't give up on this beginning of self here. You know, November's kind of like that breakaway where it's going to be like free will. Either you take this step or you're going to take this step. You know, and it's going to be two totally different paths. What path do you choose? What path do you choose? I suggest the Ten of Wands. That is the path I suggest. The Ten of Wands gets the Three of Cups. Because even if you're moving away from a toxic relationship, whatever the case may be, you're moving towards fellowship. You're moving towards something that is still going to be fulfilling. Okay? For some of you, this is going to be work opportunities. This is going to be people that you're collaborating with. For some of you, this is relationships in which are going to be moving the next step, right? Where maybe you've addressed some things in your relationship. You know, you've grown a lot over 2020, and now it's moving into this next phase. But this is the beginning of new fellowship. This is the beginning of new emotional fulfillment. You need to let something go, though. You need to walk away from it. And you need to not only walk away from it and just say, okay, well, I'm just not going to message them anymore, but then you need to change your mindset about it. You got to stop pumping out the energies of constantly feeling like you're lacking here. This is about you. It is. And I know that's not always a nice thing to really say, but once you understand that it's about you, that person that you're like holding on to and really like, not even person, but maybe even just the situation, you know, that you keep holding on to and you keep like gripping yourself to, you know? The one that you keep looking in the mirror like you're some sort of victim to. It's going to keep you stuck. You're not going to go down the road you want to go down. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's get an energy here for the Divine Masculines going forward with this new moon. What is the energy here for the Divine Masculine going forward with this new moon? And we get, don't let your pride get in the way. The full moon in Leo. Have faith in your dreams. We're going to get one more. And bring love into the situation. Wow. Those are beautiful divine masculine energies to have. And again, this is about the action in your life that you're coming forward with. Don't let pride get in the way. Have faith in your dreams and bring love into the situation. And let's see some moon cards here for the divine feminine. Your commitment is being tested. You are very close to achieving your goals, and prosperity lies ahead. And a time for healing, actually, was on the bottom of that with a new romantic cycle begins behind it. Your commitment is being tested, and this is not because the universe just likes to test us. It's because in order to grow and actually change the cycles and the patterns that we have continued to repeat, we're actually going to have to commit to changing them. You are very close to achieving your goals. Don't give up. Okay? Don't. You're in this energy of you've put this work in. You've done this healing. You've walked away. You've embraced yourself. So now just keep committing to it and just live that changed life. Prosperity lies ahead. There's new beginning. There's new hope. There's new tangible things coming into play here. There is change. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting it. Keep having faith in it. Wow, I just love this new moon reading. All right. Okay, I was going to grab those. Yeah, no, there's too many. All right, let's get one untethered to finish out today's new moon. You think the solution to your inner problems is in the world outside, but nobody has ever truly become okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. Doesn't that solve this? You think the solution to your inner problems is in the world outside, but nobody has ever truly become okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. And that is exactly what this whole reading has been about, my friends. You have to heal yourself if you have any hope of changing anything in your outer world. It starts with inner healing. All right, beautiful friends. Until next time, take great care of your souls. Bye now.